a lot of people feel like they have to either be a digital nomad or not a digital nomad, like a nomad or a settler. Like they have to either choose the path of being only in one place and building a life there, or they have to choose a life on the road. Whereas I think it's much more mixed than that. You kind of find the right balance for you. So like, do you want a home base at all? I have colleagues who have no home base. So they don't have a home anywhere. They don't actually stay anywhere long enough to kind of like establish a home base. And that's like one way to do it. But then there are also ways to do it where you're just kind of like genuinely building like a borderless life. So maybe an example of this is my husband and I would like to get properties in the Netherlands and Malaysia. And so it's not so much that we want to travel like 365 days per year, but it's more like we want to move between a few different locations and actually kind of have home bases there, which you can kind of monetize on Airbnb or kind of ways like that when you're not using them.
Okay, so I feel like this is the problem that I have right now, where I'm thinking in my mind, it's like all or nothing. That I have to be traveling or I have to be in London. And in my mind, I'm also kind of thinking, like right now I'm renting a place in central London. It's pretty expensive. And so like the sunk cost of that, plays in my mind where I think, I could go traveling and go to a cool place for a month, but then I'm kind of, quote, throwing money down the drain on rent in this place. I've been thinking about like potentially looking to try and buy a flat in central London or somewhere in London to use as this home base. But I didn't quite clock that you could kind of Airbnb it out for like small periods of time. What sort of setup would you recommend for me, given the context?
Okay, so I mean, it depends where you want to spend time, right? So like, are there particular places in the world that you visited and you were like, this place is sick, I want to spend more time here? Yeah,
a few. I think Tokyo has been pretty sick. I think Hoi An in Vietnam was pretty sick. I've got family in Karachi, so I'd like to kind of spend some time there in Pakistan every now and then. But I'm still very much thinking that I don't really know. The idea of traveling and living someplace for 1 to 3 months seems cool, but I've never done it to know what it would actually be like.
So I guess my recommendation to get kind of practical on it is I try not to remote work anywhere that I haven't spent a week that's more of a holiday first. And the reason for that is because if you are trying to maintain like a regular working pattern whilst traveling from place to place, and you find that you are moving like every month, and every time you arrive, there's a problem that you didn't expect, e.g. you can't get a SIM card, the Wi-Fi at your Airbnb is rubbish, like these kind of practical issues, that can become like really, really draining. And so it can be good to kind of do a recce, like do a test run. So you go somewhere for a week, and 1, you see if you like it, and 2, you see what kind of practical problems you come up against. Bad Wi-Fi is like a really big one in the minds of nomads, but there's also like a lack of good co-working space, accommodation that doesn't look like the pictures, so you end up moving as soon as you arrive. There's kind of a lot of friction points there. And so I find it really good to go and visit for a week, kind of low pressure. You don't have a lot of work to do or anything. You're just there to kind of experience the place as a kind of test run to then go back for 1 to 3 months later. And so I guess my Ali Abdaal kind of recommendation here would be for you to kind of explore some places for a week on that basis of like, could I work here? What kind of obstacles do I think I would encounter? And then plan a trip that's a longer term. It can be good as well to kind of plan 1 to 3 months in a place when there's something going on. So if there's like halfway through your 3-month trip, there's like a big conference going on and you know that 5 friends are going to be in that place for that conference, it can be a nice way to kind of like organize your time.
Nice.
Hey friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this clip, then click here for the full unedited episode. And if you like that, then do please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.